This episode of the Multi-Point Inspection Podcast is brought to you by Vesperio. Vesperio's Performance Academy offers custom-tailored solutions for service advisors and leaders. From the people who help you know your competition, InteliChek presents the Multi-Point Inspection Podcast. The Multi-Point Inspection Podcast brings you news and stories from the automotive world told in an informative and entertaining way. According to Daryl Terrell, Matt Bauer's Ford is barely recognizable compared to its appearance 4 years ago.
Matt Bauer's, he purchased a store roughly about 4 years ago. It was a sore eye to look at. I mean, it was dingy. Almost all the lights was out. Service reception area. It was so bad that we had a fish tank and even the fish looked depressed in the fish tank.
But what might be more impressive than its makeover on the outside is what's happening on the inside.
My task is just to find talent, to grow talent, to hold the standard, set the standard for our employees on how to operate and be professional, just to set the expectations and hold them accountable to the expectations that we set.
With an insatiable appetite for learning and growing, Darryl believes that building his people up is the key to success. And ever the competitor, Darryl is looking to compete with the best stores in the nation. In this Dealership Spotlight edition of the Multi-Point Inspection Podcast, Daryl Terrell talks about his philosophies on winning in every aspect of life.
Yeah, my name is Daryl Terrell. I'm the Parts and Service Director at Matt Bauer's Ford Metairie. I've been with this company for about 9 years now. I've been privileged with the task to take over the newly remodeled Matt Bauer's Ford store. Completely new renovations. Everything's brand new lifts, 48 bays. I'm just blessed and honored to be able to take over this beautiful store.
Darryl got his start in the automotive industry early on, even though his father didn't want him to pursue this as a career.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. So my dad, he was a service manager. Ever since I was young, I like to say I was born into this field like it was my calling. As young as I can remember, I would go to my dad's shop. We would work on cars. But the crazy thing about that is that he never wanted me to get into this industry. So I went to college for business. And for some reason, I found my way back into this industry. I got my first job as the intern at a Subaru dealership. So when I was in high school, I would go to this dealership after school and just help the mechanics work on cars. And what really was like an eye-opening effect for me to actually stay in this industry was, I never forget, I got my check and I was complaining about taxes. I was like, they took $35 in taxes out of my check. So this mechanic, he was like, Daryl, stop complaining. He showed me his check and I was like, wow. I watched this guy every single day put the work in. Like I watched him when he come to work, watch him when he leave, and I see the results reflecting his paycheck. And I knew right then and there, this was what I wanted to do. I followed that journey, worked my way up to a lube tech, worked my way up to a technician, worked my way up to ASC master technician, Nissan master technician, shop foreman, service manager, and parts and service director.
I asked Darryl what effect business school had on his career.
That is a great question. I probably would still be a technician without the business side of it. Because when I was a technician, I knew the business side on the back end, textbook-wise, but I didn't really do it on my day-to-day basis. I was more concerned with fixing vehicles. But without that business background, I probably would still be a technician right now.
Knowing that the income potential in this industry is a big draw for new recruits, Darryl says that being selective in the interview process is paramount.
That's why I like to teach a lot of my guys as well. I'm known for hiring guys that necessarily doesn't have experience in the industry. And that's part of the hook. When they start making that paycheck, they never want to leave, you know? When you teach somebody how to make money in the industry, they never want to leave. So that's part of what I have a passion for, is building people up, hiring people with no experience. And when I say that, I don't mean just hire somebody just to fill a number, but like making sure you pick the right candidates during the interview process, ask them questions, because people will tell you the interview process what you're going to get. If you ask somebody, what do they struggle with? And they say they procrastinate a lot. Do you know what you're going to get when you hire them? You know, just being real selective with who you choose on an interview process. And that's how you get good candidates.
As far as customer satisfaction and retention goes, Daryl says that the key to success comes down to helping people more than trying to sell them something.
I don't consider myself a salesperson. I'm in the sales industry. When you really look at it, sales is all about taking care of the people and just truly wanting to help and bringing value to people. You could take the sales out of it, but as long as you're bringing value to somebody, they'll make a purchase if you're helping them. You don't have to be a hard-nosed closer. You just do the right thing. You're transparent. You build that trust, and people would purchase, I think sales get a bad reputation a lot of just selling people things people don't need, especially in this industry, automotive industry, with the MPI, with the multi-point inspections. If you follow the process on a multi-point inspection, you do the same inspection on every single car. Every car needs something, or it's going to need something at some point. So as long as you're transparent with the customer throughout the entire process, then you don't have to go out and be a hard-nosed salesperson. You'll automatically close your sales.
When Daryl is asked to explain his duties as parts and service director at Matt Bowers Ford, his response sounds more like that of a coach or a mentor.
My task is just to find talent, to grow talent, to hold the standard, set the standard for our employees on how to operate and be professional, just to set the expectations and hold them accountable to the expectations that we set. Just because you tell somebody this is what we expect of you one time, I don't think that's enough. You got to reinforce that over and over again. They're not reaching your expectations. It's not a just get rid of you type of call to make. You want to find out why. If you can help them out, find a way to help them out, because at the end of the day, you're as successful as your employees are. So my challenge and my job duty is to make sure my guys are being as successful as possible. Anything I can help them out with along that way, along that path, to give them that guidance and watch them be successful. And that's the joy of this industry. That's the joy for me, is to see my guys win. And that's what I love to do. I love pushing these guys' buttons and just getting the best out of them.
And about that remodel at Matt Bowers Ford?
They went into construction. The store was in trailers for about 2 years. They were operating out of trailers. And we finally, this store is the most beautiful store I've been a part of. Probably one of the best looking stores in New Orleans. Everything in the entire store got completely gutted out. Everything, reinstalled brand new. And they expanded the facility as well. They went from a 30-bay shop to 48 bays, from 4 service advisor desks to 8 service advisor desks. And it's really a beautiful facility. And like I said, I'm just honored to be a part of it and to be able to run a store of that caliber. My goal for the store is to compete with the best in the nation as far as employees, staffing, numbers, just to compete with the best in the nation.
And speaking of numbers,
so last August, we did 3,600 shop hours. The August before that, it was 2,000 shop hours. We almost doubled our shop hours. That came with just staffing, training, tons of training. But with staffing, you just can't hire people and expect results to come. You got to support them as well. CSI, we hit CSI, I want to say since January, we missed it 1 month out of the year. And with CSI, what we have done to help fix CSI is we cut our express time down from 3 hours on an oil change down to 45 minutes to an hour. And part of doing that is, you get people out and out faster. You're able to take more cars in. That's how you build your RO count. And you just take care of the customer, ultimately.
We'll learn about some of Daryl's strategy to achieve those numbers, including prioritizing the express lane, incentives for early adopters to new technology, and more, after a word from our sponsor. The Vesperio Performance Academy offers custom-tailored solutions for service advisors and leaders. We allow you to select exactly what you want based on your store's needs. After taking our customized learning path survey, we use those results to tailor a learning path specifically for you. You'll have access to our complete learning library, and you can test what you've learned with our knowledge checks. And for managers, our easy-to-use admin dashboard allows you to easily see current activity from your team and access reports quickly. Vesperio's Performance Academy promotes advisor and manager engagement and communication by including the manager after every concept an advisor completes. Vesperio also allows users the ability to add custom dealership assets and processes that all live in one location. To get a look inside the Performance Academy or to get your team started today, go to Vesperio.com. That's Visperio.com.
So we went from 6 express bays previously, and now we have 12 express bays. I've seen it work time and time again. I've been in stores where walking into a store, it takes 4 hours for an oil change. Your RO count would never grow that way. It's just because of what you said. People don't want to wait 4 hours for an oil change. You're going to lose them to independent shops. Part of growing your RO count and part of fixing CSI in any store I've been a part of is fixing your express first. That's staffing your guys up. So if you have 4 express guys, maybe you need to have 8. Maybe you need to have 10. Ultimately, your vision should be take care of the customer when the customer needs you, rather than take care of the customer when you need the customer.
Another key to Matt Bauer's Ford success is one of my favorite topics, the video MPI.
We actually use Xtime. We started using their video MPI and pictures as well to the customer. It's really, really cool, man. Like, it's so transparent. Like, if you send a customer a picture of their car and they need brakes, it's pretty hard to decline fixing brakes on your vehicle. I think it's cool when it just gives you that transparency effect with the customers where when selling, you build the trust right away because it's proof. It's their vehicle. It's a picture of their car. I think that part of the technology is actually pretty cool. Then they could approve or deny right through their cell phone via text messages. It actually brings the convenience to the customer. And that's a part of this industry. We're trying to be like Amazon and those types of businesses and compete with them. Make it easy for the customer.
And speaking of new technology, I asked Daryl how receptive is his team to adopt new ways of doing things.
Yeah, I've been a part of this industry back when we was handwriting tickets, repair orders. So I've seen the transformation and technology and how it's helping us. And I'm a big technology person. And that's the challenge of our industry. First person that adapts to it wins, right? You got to constantly adapt to anything, any kind of challenges or circumstances that you go through. You got to learn how to adapt and navigate. People think it happens overnight, and the real reality of that is that it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. You got to keep reinforcing. You have to find a way to motivate the guys, whether it's spiffing these guys to do videos, whether it's having contests to do videos. But it's something that people in the industry, I believe, things happen overnight. And it's something that you have to continue to harp on to make it happen. And you got to truly believe in yourself as the leader. And if you believe in the vision, your team will follow.
I asked Daryl about his future goals.
Ultimately, I just want to get our store where we're at now to being efficient and maximizing our space that we have here. It's so much opportunity in our store. Opportunities are tremendous. And I just want to be able to maximize the store's output and just perform at the highest level possible. That's my main focus and main goal is just growing the team, just being contagious to the guys and the guys being contagious to each other. That's ultimately the goal, is for everybody to become successful in your team. Have that winning culture, like the Patriots or like the San Antonio Spurs or Chicago Bulls, that no matter who you are, if you come on our team, you'll be a winning piece of it. So, Brandon, I like to compare my career to like a game. I'm a competitive person. I played football, basketball. When I talk about my career, I'm in the automotive industry. It's always something to work on, whether it's your customer service skills, whether it's your leadership skills, whatever it may be, whether it's your employee, the way you handle your employees. And you got to work on each part of your game. So if you graded each part of your game on a scale from 1 to 10, you got to constantly push each level inch at a time to get to that 10. It is no perfect leader or perfect person in the industry, but I want to be as perfect as possible. I think the more reps you put in working on your game, the easier that shot would be when you have to take that shot in the game. I heard you in the beginning when we first started, you said you read a lot of books. I read tons and tons of books, man. Audio books, I read the books. Got a bunch of favorite titles, man. I compare my career to a game, and I'm just trying to perfect my game form at the highest level every single day. And even if it's not professional, I think your personal life goes into your professional life as well. If it's working out in the morning just to get your day started, clear your mind, clarity. It's so many different things and habits you do in your life because all your habits affect your results. So if you could tweak your habits and you could be consistent, you'll get positive results.
I'd like to thank Daryl Terrell of Matt Bowers Ford for this inspiring interview. You can find the Multi-Point Inspection Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. It helps with the algorithm thingy. Executive producers for the Multi-Point Inspection Podcast are Melissa Marlette and Joe Gibson. It is written, produced, and narrated by me, Brandon Barnett. This episode's featured music is Lee's Blues by the Night Train. And check out the full uncut interview on InteliChek's YouTube channel, where we talk more about building good habits. This episode was made possible thanks to a proud partnership with Vesperio, which provides tailored solutions to ignite automotive dealership fixed operations, performance, and profit.